Hey folks, David here with the Tomb Runners update. Got some production, schedule, events kind of stuff to go over, as well as showing off something really cool that I just got back in for the game. So first off, I'm going to be at Origins this month, and Gen Con as well next month, into, was that last weekend of July into beginning of August. Origins, I have nothing planned other than playing games. I just play games with friends there, but I'll be running Tomb Runners. If you want to play, hit me up. Come get a sticker. I just ordered a couple hundred of these for people. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. So come get a cool D6 Ooze Monster sticker. Play a game with me, board games, or if you want to play Tomb Runners or something else, just hit me up. Open schedule for Origins. Gen Con's a little more hectic. I'm doing a lot of work stuff there, doing some media stuff and all, and the days are so packed. But at night we stay up pretty late and play in the open gaming areas in the JW Marriott. So if you want to play Tomb Runners in the evenings, especially, or nights, hit me up. We usually stay pretty late. I think they keep most of those ballrooms open 24 hours, or some of those side rooms when the events aren't running. You can stay in them all you want. So we could definitely play some Tomb Runners there if you'd like. The things I want to go over today. So the main book is the hardback book that I've been showing. This is a glossy cover. I think the final product will be matte cover because it just feels and looks a little more like the worn aesthetic, the old book aesthetic I'm going for. But this is the art, and if you haven't seen it, show off. This is the cover, and this is not final layout. It's not quite aligned right on this prototype. And then the back cover has the full art of the Ooze Monster D6. That barcode won't be there either, so the Tomb Runners text won't be cut off and won't be covered. And then this top box is also changed. But that's a look at the hardback. This is the 150-page version, which is probably what the final book will be. Potentially push it up to 200 if stretch goals reach certain levels. But the other version of the book will be this size in the zine edition. So I'm calling the hardback the deluxe edition, and this will be the basic edition or zine edition. And this is what the game started as. I love zines. I love the zine culture in RPGs and in photo books and music scene, how all of those scenes, it's like a very community focused format, and I really love that. And this is what Tomb Runners originally was going to be, was a zine. And I'm using this as an example because this is printed in the same printer that I'm using for the zine edition, and this is almost exactly the same size. So you can see it's about half as many pages. This is 66 pages, and Tomb Runners will be right at 70, maybe 72 with the table of contents and all, versus 150. And the difference there will be the zine edition will be the full game. You'll get all the rules. You'll get all the character creation content, all the monsters, all the tables. The only thing that won't be in the zine edition will be all the pre-made adventure stuff, all the pre-made tombs, the mega tomb, all the stuff that you can just like play straight out of the book, the pre-made adventures basically. But the full game will be available in the zine edition. And then price-wise, that'll be probably less than half the cost of the deluxe hardback. But the deluxe hardback is still going to be, try to keep it priced very affordably, around $40 to $45, depending on the final quotes and options and everything. And then the stretch goals will increase the card stock and the binding and the maybe ribbons added in for bookmarks and stuff like that. But the zine edition is going to be very simple, very plain. It's going to be soft cover, black and white. They're both going to be all black and white, actually. There's no color art, which is an aesthetic choice as much as a production choice. But then also, so there you'll be able to get either the zine edition, the hardback edition. You'll be able to get the GM's deck 2.0. That's the 100 card GM Oracle table. There's 100 oracles here, and there's everything from character building to locations, a location deck, a dungeon deck, a villain deck, monsters, magic items, everything and I'll show that off here. So this is the Tavern Names card, and there's 100 different cards. So you have like your Quest Hooks card. So this is everything you need to run and plan adventures. And I made this before making Tomb Runners, but it fits perfectly with Tomb Runners. This is a great supplement for any type of fantasy RPG, Dungeon Master, for players, for character creation and stuff like that. It's a really great tool. So you'll be able to get this with the new artwork. So the old one had the traditional TCG looking card backs, which look nice. They look good, but they don't match the Tomb Runners aesthetic. So the new version will have the artwork that matches Tomb Runners. And it'll be 100 cards plus the 6-card wallet edition you'll be able to get. That'll be included with all of the decks for the second edition of the deck. And then, so you'll be able to get the hardcover book, the softcover book, the deck, and the GM screen. This is the other pillar of Tomb Runners. And I've shown off the interior of it. Sorry, the camera completely lost focus because of the backlighting. So I've shown off the interior and how proud of it I am, because if you didn't see previous videos, this center spread of the GM screen is the full core rules of the game. All of the actual gameplay rules fit right here on this one panel of the GM screen. So not only is it a useful tool to reference during play, it's all you need for a reference during play. The only thing you have to turn to the book for would be like specific monster descriptions or specific feat descriptions, but all of your GM tables for building tombs, building encounters, building monsters, rolling for treasure, creating a magic item, and rolling for consequences in different scenarios are all right here on the interior. This is all the tables from the book and all the rules from the book. Really proud of this. This is truly like all you need to actually sit down and play the game. Once you know the book, you almost don't need to even have the book at the table. But I want to show off today the artwork. Now, this is just the pencil draft sketch. This is just finalizing the scene in pencil sketch and not final ink. And if you're familiar with what that means, you'll know how different and how, this is like not even halfway there as far as the final product. But if you've seen the special edition sketch covers that Paizo puts out for Pathfinder, you know how cool the pencil version looks for some things. And because of that, I went ahead and made this prototype of the GM screen with the pencil edition because I love it so much. So let me go ahead and get that in focus for you. So you can see it's this really, really epic panorama view of this battle happening. Let me get a little closer and show off. So we'll start with the center. And it's this Lich and his undead army. And then the party here, you have this rogue off to the center, hiding behind the pillar, dagger drawn. You have some of the skeletons creeping up. You have this paladin cleric type character, holding up his holy symbol with the light blasting some of the undead back. You have this barbarian with the axe drawn, ready to jump in there. And you have this wizard blasting off a spell. And then the Lich in the center there, floating above with that eyeball cracking through the wall there, which was something that the artist Felipe added in on his own, and I love it. It's such a cool touch, and it fits. So the perspective, I wanted the perspective to be the center vanishing point, so it focuses all the action on the center of the screen, and it's kind of the viewpoint of the players at the table looking at the battle, and the eyeball there just fits perfectly with, the GM watching over the scene, controlling the chaos there in the battle scene. I absolutely love this artwork. He nailed it. He knocked it out of the park. And knowing what his finished product looks like, it's going to be incredible. But I'm going to probably make my own final printed version with the penciled version as well, because I just love that old school feel of the sketchy art there with all that character, all the line work and everything. It's really, really something. I can't wait to show off the final version and see people with this at the table, because this is like when I saw this in the email, I knew it was special. And then when I printed it and was looking at it all together in the same size it's going to be in the final version, I was kind of blown away. And it was the same as when I first got my first prototype of the book. Because when I wrote the rules and had the first draft of the rules written in just a Word document, that felt like a milestone. And then when I started putting it to design and putting it with artwork and in Affinity Publisher and seeing what some of the pages were going to look like, that felt like the next milestone. But it wasn't until I had this prototype copy in my hands and saw like this is a real tangible final piece of art in my creation. That was the real first, like, this is real. This is I'm holding something I made. Same with, I'm a photographer by day, and I can't quite pull the picture off the wall easily here while holding the mic, but when in the world of digital photography, I'll just turn the camera here. Of course, the lamp is in the way. You can see I have this Milky Way shot of, this is Delicate Arch in Arches National Park, and that's on canvas. Having a physical printed piece of artwork that you made feels so much different and so much better than just seeing it on a screen. And when I saw that piece of artwork, even just the pencil sketch version of it, when I saw that, the real physical printed version with just office printer with worn out black ink that's coming out kind of bluish, even that was enough to make me like, it really just ignites that sense of accomplishment. And I mean, that's not my art, that's Felipe's, but that, curating the right art, putting it to the paper, putting it to the rules, collaborative creation, which is what RPGs are. Unless you're one of those insanely talented people that does everything on their own, from art to writing to design, every aspect of it, which I don't know. I know some in the board game world that do that, but I'm not too familiar with many RPG creators that do everything. But yeah, seeing every piece of it come to life in a physical form is the most fulfilling aspect, the most fulfilling part of this whole process. And it just gets me super excited to think about it on other people's tables and seeing them enjoy it. And I know just already from the feedback, people are really loving that artwork. Same with the cover art and the back cover art from Bruno. I'm blown away by the talent of these people and how they take my idea with just a simple description of a scene and bring it to life perfectly. It's like it couldn't be better than that. And no matter how much I tried to describe it beyond what I initially said, there's no way I could have improved on what he gave me here. And so I'm super excited to see the final inked version of this scene and get it on GM screens. So going back to the production and the pledge levels for crowdfunding, the all-in pledge, I think we're going to call it the Tomb Lord pledge. That's just good branding. It sounds cool. And that'll be the all-in. You get everything. And tentatively, if the numbers, the final quotes on everything make sense, I think the top pledge is going to include the hardcover book, of course, the deluxe edition of Tomb Runners, the GM screen, the DM's deck, and a copy of the Zine edition. And that serves two purposes. One, if you are traveling and don't want to have a heavier, thicker book taking up space, you can just take the zine version. And then at the table, if you want to have a smaller, lighter version to pass around to the players to reference while you're running the game, if they want to look at feats for character creation options and stuff like that, having a smaller, lightweight kind of reference booklet version of the hardback is just a really handy thing to have. And it won't add on. I think with the top tier pledge, the numbers make sense that we can add that in just as added value as kind of a freebie for the pledge. So you'll get the hardcover book, the zine edition book, the GM screen, and the DM's deck. And then maybe if the sourcing works out, a dice set. And the dice set will just be, so this game only, if you've been following along, you probably already know this, but this game only uses D20s and D6 dice. So it would be a set of probably 3 D20s, because that's the most you'll ever need to roll, and then maybe 6 D6. 10 would be nice, because that would be the highest number you would ever need for D6. But 5 or 6 is what you would need more often. And also everyone has tons of D6. That's the most common die. You probably have an actual bucket of them, like I do, for different games. So I'd love to get some custom dice sets made for the add-ons and top pledge levels. And I think that's it for now. I'll keep this one short. No one told me that talking so much on videos solo would be so hard on my throat and my voice. So I keep losing my voice and feeling like I'm going to get a sore throat again and get sick again, like I did after the first week of doing this. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or about anything, drop them in the comments. If you'd like a playtest PDF, drop that in the comments. And then also, if you're going to Origins and or Gen Con, hit me up. We'll play some games. I'll get you some stickers. You can see the books in person, stuff like that. I'll have it on me at all times in my little sling bag, of course, so I can show it off. So that's it. I think next video we do will be some character builds and like showing them off in and example scenes, rolling some dice, see how the scenes play out, making some example content of the game and play for people, because that's something I haven't started doing here on YouTube. And that'll be fun. So if you have a character build, if you have a character idea, concept you want to see built in Tomb Runners and played in a scene, drop that, and I'll do 2 or 3 characters against some fun enemies. We'll do that, make an encounter, and run those characters through it. So I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.